All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I make all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh. Hashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makagadash, double honors to the apostles, elders, and great millstone salutations to your Akim that's out there doing the work of truth and sincerity. All right, so we constantly see Esau, pretty much point the finger at everybody else except for himself. He never holds himself accountable. In fact, if anybody from another race, whether he be black, so-called black, Latino, or Native American, does anything heinous, anything out of the ordinary, he attributes it to the whole race, all right, which which basically sets a stigma, a standard toward their whole race of people, and he's been doing this for the longest, especially when you look at our history, dealing with the so-called white man during the 1900s, early 1900s. They created this thing called caricatures, where they display, a certain character of a black man, which was a false narrative to stir up the minds of his fellow, his counterparts, his fellow Edomites, and they continue to do this. Everybody else, their whole race is being accounted, is being held accountable for one miscreant or one rebel. But with Esau, as you can see to the left, if one Edomite does something, it's never attributed to the whole race. In other words, they point the finger and they try and keep the imagery of themselves as clean and that they're upright, and that's beyond that's the biggest lie known to men, because we know these Edomites are the biggest terrorists in the world, and they continue to use their law to justify the means of going after people's resources, murdering sovereign and taking, resources from sovereign nations. They continue to do these things, man. We know Esau is the devil. That's why he's the devil. All right. This is why you're the devil. Okay. And you're being revealed in your time. Okay. That's why it says, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. Okay. Let me go ahead and get there really good, really fast, because they want to portray as though that they're, upright in nature, and they're not. They'll point the finger at everybody else, but they'll never be accountable for the things that their nation does to the whole world, man. And we know that the so-called white man's he's a terrorist, man. All right. And we know the whole world knows you're a terrorist. All right. Okay. So I read this meme on the left. It's a Muslim shooter. Whenever a Muslim shoots somebody, all Muslims are bad. Whenever a Negro shoots somebody, it's gang related, and all Negroes are bad. And they'll portray it in their mainstream media. But when they do something, their whole race is never held accountable because they get to choose the narrative. They own the media, right? But the Most High is he is attributing what you do to your whole race, and he's going to destroy you, he's going to destroy your whole posterity, your children. Okay, Isaiah 14:21. All right. Let's see. Obadiah 1:1. It says, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle." All right. Meaning the whole nation of Edom. All right. Behold, I made these small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. All right. Though you play, you know, as though you're angels and that you can never do wrong, you're despised among all the nations. You're the most despised nation in the world. Verse 3, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. And their habitation is high. They're rich, right? They have everything their heart can desire, does desire, right? And we're talking about the very elite. But from the elite all the way down to the poorest Edomites, you're going to be taken out of the world, man. All right. It says that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? All right. And that's what they say continually, because the scriptures say they weigh the violence in their heart, meaning they think upon the things that they do in the world and they boast in it. They boast about controlling the narrative, controlling the media, the mass media. They boast about all these things. All right. Verse 4 says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? All right. Would they not have stolen till they had enough? All right. If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? All right. So, in other words, the Most High is not going to leave. He's not going to leave a small remnant, not even a small remnant of you Edomites. All right. Because if these, I'll read again. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Right, man. Esau is going to be totally wiped out, man. All right. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? All right. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right. We know through the Lord. All right. The Lord is revealing their secrets. Right. It says, all the men of the confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All right. So there's allies of these Edomites that be at peace with them, but they're deceiving them. All right. They that eat thy bread have I laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in them. All right. Shall I not in that day, said the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? All right. So this is Most High dealing with Esau, and pretty much he's leading up to his total eradication. He's going to bring them into war. He's taking their wisdom away from them. All right. Because they're boasting themselves against the Lord. They're boasting themselves against us, which, if they boast themselves against us, they're boasting against the Lord. All right. But, I just want to make that small point. All right. So this is Psalms 52 and 1. Okay. It says, David, Slakia, it says, to the chief musician, Ashkil, a psalm of David, when Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul and said unto him, David is come to the house of Ahimelech. Why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of God endureth continually. The goodness of the Most High endureth continually. So what? The Most High is going to bring forth judgment. All right. Which is judgment is righteous judgment. So you can do mischief all you want. The Most High is going to require the things that has been done by your hands. It says, thy tongue deviseth mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, Esau. All right. And lying rather than to speak righteousness. All right. So they lied to the whole world. All right. They lied to the whole world, man. Okay. So, Salaki, let me get this scripture before I forget it. All right. Listen, Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter. Let me see. Habakkuk 2 and 4. And it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. All right. But the just shall live by his faith. So these Edomites, their souls, they're not upright, man. Even though they live on high, they live with this, this, this pride about them, as though they're upright, but they're not upright in their spirit because they don't judge aright. As Psalm says, do you judge aright, you men, you sons of men? They don't. Okay, everybody's the criminal except for them. Of course, we get it. It's their world. It's their kingdom. All right, so they can portray themselves as what they want to, but the Most High has their number. Okay, he also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and as death. So everywhere the so-called white man goes, he brings death and destruction. Okay, and he subjugates people, and if not, the world wouldn't complain. The world wouldn't be in disarray. It says, and cannot be dissatisfied, but gather unto himself a slack unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And who is doing that? The so-called white man. They have this thing called global governance. They want everybody to be called a global citizen. And they also have a new world order, which is a one world order. They have one world financial system, which everybody has to abide by. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right. So there is a taunting proverb. The men of the Lord are going out there on the highways and byways throughout the four corners of the earth. Almost everywhere, we almost fulfilling the prophecy where it says the uttermost parts of the earth, and then shall the end come. Okay. And so it says, which is not, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And when you go into that word thick clay, it's abatya, which means debt. Okay. So who's doing that? Who's accumulating all this debt? Who has a money system or financial system? His financial structure is set up on a fiat currency that has no backing. The so-called white man. So shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. All right. So you're going to be what? You're going to be booties unto the other nations, man. All right. You see what's happening in South Africa. They're kicking them Edomites out of their land. All right. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. All right. So you're going to be taken by these nations, mainly us. Okay. Because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and and of all that dwell therein. That's why you got certain Edomites that get kidnapped in these different rural countries. All right, and they're calling you out for who you are, the colonizers, the oppressors. Everybody know who you are, man. All right, and that's why you despise among all the nations. It says, woe to him that coveteth and evil covetous to his house. All right. And to covet something is to take something with malicious, envious intent of something that's not yours, because you envy the next person. And that's how the so-called white man is. That's why they use the military industrial complex to what? To steal resources. So on and so forth. All right. It says that he may set his nest on high. All right. That he may be delivered from the power of evil. All right. And that's why Esau is doing all this, trying to accumulate all these resources. So eventually he won't be the loser in the end, because they think that money and their resources is going to save them from that great day of judgment. And it's not. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. All right. So you sinned against your own soul. All right. And your shame covering you because you cut off many nations. All right. But the stone shall cry out of the wall, the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood, established the city by iniquity. Behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him that giveth right. So the knowledge of the Lord is filling the world. And that's why truth is springing forth, and the so-called white man is being revealed. Woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. All right. So Esau is influencing people with his philosophies, and bringing forth iniquity among these nations, mainly our people, Black Science and Native Americans, so they can sit back and enjoy us destroy ourselves. All right. So they can look upon our nakedness. Thou art filled with shameful glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. All right. So what? Drink what? The wrath of the Most High, and that what you put forth in the earth, because it's going to come back onto you. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. So the Lord's right hand, his righteousness, his power, all right, that cup, which is indignation, is going to be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right? Because the so-called white man thinks that he's getting away with murder. He thinks that, hey, as long as he can point the finger at everybody else, he can pretty much hide behind his own mischief, you know? But the Most High has got your number. All right? This is Psalms 52:2. Thy tongue deviseth mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than speak righteousness a lot. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. All right? And it's talking about the so-called white man, okay? Because they love all devouring words. Let's go into the word. Belie, swallowing, devouring, figuratively for ruin. Right? So what? They're trying to ruin. They love ruining words. All right. Oh, thou deceitful tongue. That's what they're about. They love ruining men's reputation, and they love holding themselves in a good light. Verse 5. The Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and root thee out of the land of the living. All right. So for all the hurtful crimes and hurtful things that the so-called white man does on a daily basis through his institutions, his think tanks, all right, destroying and creating these psyops so he can, divert the minds of the people from the truth. Most High is requiring those things, all the evil things that you've done in the earth, continuous things, all right, destroying the earth, all right, destroying the minds of the people, lying about the omnipotences of the Most High, lying and making war against the Most High. He's going to take you up out of the earth, and you're going to fly away as a dream. Okay. It says the righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him, man. So Esau's downfall is going to be epic. All right. And we're seeing it. All right. So, as you see in the meme to the left, is the Muslim shooter, black shooter, professional shooter, which is their armies or their police force. When they shoot somebody, they become a national hero, or it's just collateral damage, right? So when a white Edomite police officer shoots, an unarmed so-called black man, Latino man, or Native American man, he's counted as a hero among their people, among other Edomites, because the narrative is that everybody's simply a criminal, and we're the white pure race that's here to clean the earth up and police the earth and keep it in its right order. And that's the biggest lie. All right. But it's perpetuated among their people. But the Most High sees the things that you're doing, man. All right. And the scriptures say that the eyes of the Lord are 1,000 times brighter than the sun. All right. Beholding the ways of men. So there's no way you can get away with what you're doing. Right, as you can see, the last one, it says white shooter, lone wolf, or parking problem of emotional issues. All right. So they're always writing it off whenever you Edomites shoot up a major school, a school, do a major mass shooting. You always write it off as emotional, psychological problems. And when in fact, you're the terrorist. Okay. Because you think upon the things you're doing. You meditate before you go out and you do things. All right. Every time you see a mass shooting, it's an Edomite. Okay. Who's basically trying to kill people because there's truly hate in their heart. All right. But the Most High has your number. Okay. It says the righteous shall also, Salak, going back to the scripture. Right. This is the man that made not God his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in his wickedness. And that's the so-called white man. Right. That's what they do. Okay. That's pretty much what I had, just a thought, when I looked at this meme, and, it's also true, because this is how these devils do. All right. They frame it. They make it men offenders for words. When we speak truth, they make you a target, and he just can't do wrong. The so-called white man. Well, let me get this last scripture and I'm gonna close out. It's a continuation, man, of getting on Esau, man, because they need to be exposed. All right. So Salaki. All right, so Sarakia. Sarakia. This is Ecclesiastes 23:19. It says, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. All right. So the Lord is considering those secret parts, those parts that you don't want people to know, which is that you're the main evil, wicked nation of people that's perpetuating evils all over the earth. You're the reason why the earth is in disarray. All right. He knew all things ere ever they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. All right. This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspected not, he shall be taken. All right. And it's going to happen to the rulers, which are Edomites. All right. And with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.